Let's see if we could figure out what 2 over 3 divided by 5 is equal to. Pause this video and see if you can figure this out. Well, there's a couple of ways that we can approach it. We can first do it in a conceptual way. Think about it visually. And to do that, let me represent 2/3. So let's say that what I'm drawing right over here is a hole. This is a square, and it represents a hole. And now I could divide into 3 equal sections, and I'm going to try to hand draw that. So that looks pretty good. 3 equal sections here. Each is a third, and we have 2/3. So we are really representing all of this stuff right over here. That is 2 of my thirds. Now I want to divide those 2/3 by 5. Well, the way I could do this is I could divide it into 5 equal sections. But if I'm doing it, I might as well just divide everything, all the thirds, into 5 equal sections. So let me do that. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 equal sections. So what is one of those 5 equal sections of my original 2/3? Well, this right over here is one of those 5 equal sections of my original 2/3. Notice I could draw that. I could draw another one here, another one here, another one there, and another one there. And I would have 5 equal sections that make up those 2/3. But what does just one of them represent? And if we figure out what this represents of the whole, then we know what 2/3 divided by 5 is. Well, when I took my thirds and I divided them into 5 equal sections, I essentially constructed 15ths. How do I know that? Well, I had 1, 2, 3 thirds, and then I divided it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So each of these squares right over here is a 15th. You have 3 times 5, and you could count them if you like. And what we have circled off in red is 2 of these 15ths. We have 1 15th right over here, and then 2 15ths right over there. So this is going to be equal to 2 over 15. Now, another way that you could think about it, and over time this is the way you will approach it, but it's nice to think about it conceptually, is when you divide by any number, it's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So 5 is the same thing as 5 wholes, or 5 over 1. And so 2/3 divided by 5 is the same thing as 2/3 times the reciprocal of 5, or the reciprocal of 5 over 1, which is, you just swap the numerator and the denominator, which is 1 over 5. And so another way of thinking about this is 1/5 of 2/3, which once again will be this section right over here. And the way you could compute this, conceptually, you see that this is 2 15ths, but you could also say, well, I can just multiply, when I multiply fractions, I can just multiply the numerators. 2 times 1 is 2. Let me do that same red color. 2 times 1 is 2. And then I can multiply the denominators. 3 times 5 is 15. And hopefully, what we just drew out helps make sense of why dividing by something is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. And then when you multiply fractions, it's the same thing as multiplying the numerators to get our new numerator, and then multiplying the denominators to get our new denominator.